This program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good morning everybody. Welcome to Djuma Private Game Reserve, to the beautiful morning sky. Sitting here with the beautiful impalas. Looks like they are on the road, taking their time, feeding around. Welcome aboard to your very own safari through the African bush. Greeting again everybody this morning, here where we're sitting. Actually it's beautiful light coming from the background where there's actually sunrise at the moment, and we're sitting here with the impalas just ahead of us on the road. Looks like they're all enjoying, benefit of these dew grasses they already have. It's still quite a morning, so there's not much of a heat take places. So all animals love it so much to get mobile about. My name is Andrew. On camera I have Simon. This morning, this is how we're actually planning to begin a drive. And then nobody would know actually what could happen around these impalas. It happens that maybe they actually been hunted during the night also. But the only way to find out is to actually check their behavior of how they do. Sometimes you find they're threatened, or maybe they're actually one of the animals that's so quick to forget. If they've seen danger like an hour ago, it's gone out of their mind. So they have a free life again. So they don't keep a problem for such a long time on their heart. They're so cool. So remember, we're coming to you live from this location. So we'd like to hear from you. You can talk to us on sending question and comment through kids questions at wildearth.tv. Also on #WildeEarth@FC, which is YouTube channel, and wildearth.tv/an explorer. You can go there and sign up in order for you to be able to communicate with us. World can be so small, like a tennis sometimes it is already, where we're able to bring this beautiful morning to you right here. It's unbelievable. So we're gonna be actually taking a lot of time in this area, checking, because last night I know that our leopard, we have Tingana, he moved slightly northwest, not knowing if he returned back to the property or other leopard might come back to the property from the west. So it's going to be actually bright and warm today. We're sitting already now, temperature of 22 degrees Celsius, 72 Fahrenheit. This is where we stand. As you can see, the sun is already up. It's such an amazing, beautiful, especially part of the morning out in the low field where everything just died quietly. If we can just take a moment of silence, you can able to hear all communication of the birds. Right, so we're going to move forward on our search. Hopefully we find something interesting for everyone. I'm going to be sending you over to Lauren with her Honorable.
Good morning everyone and welcome to And Beyond Ngala. At the moment we are sitting with a breeding pair of ground hornbill, and I'm actually going to keep quiet just for a little while, just so you can hear the booming call of this pair. Lovely, isn't it? So the one we are focused on is the male, and then the female is sitting actually a little bit above him and behind him in the jacquerie. Just to the left is a cavity in the tree, and that's where their nest is. So we haven't seen any youngsters, but the male is actually ticking at the hole a little bit earlier and then started calling. So yeah, they are nesting here. Usually their laying dates are anything from October or maybe November to about January. So I think we might have a youngster in there, or maybe even two. It's not often that two of them makes it, but who knows. So my name's ROAN, and behind the camera I've got BK. We'll be spending the morning with you. Yeah, we thought what a lovely way to start the morning with these two. Judging by, because it's only the two of them, I think this might be their first nest. Usually they've got other hoppers coming in, helping them out. But here it's only the male and the female, and you can actually hear it from the duet. It's only two of the birds calling. Oh, you can hear a hyena in the background as well. Lovely morning for sound. I think it's going to get very hot. So quite endangered, these birds, and it's interesting, they usually lay 2 eggs, about sometimes 2 weeks apart. So the first hatchling is a lot stronger and bigger than the second one, so often ends up killing the other one, sadly, which makes them quite endangered. And of the fledglings, they don't, I think it's something like 35% of them make it to adulthood. So it could be that a pair only has another youngster every 9 or so years. It's quite sad. But I must say, we've been seeing more and more and more of these hornbills around the reserve, which is actually very nice. If you imagine with a beak like that, they're quite extraordinary hunters. I once saw one gobble up a puff adder, like spaghetti. Such a stunning sound to hear in the morning. But I think for now we're going to let them be, let them continue with the duet, send you guys off to BUSANI with the buffalo, and then we continue on our way looking to see what else we can find.
Welcome to Pinda and Beyond. We have found a herd of buffalo. Have a look just around the corner. There's a tiny little baby. That is very, very brand new. I think it was born within 1 or 2 days. And it cannot even walk properly. Shame. All the time if the mom stopped walking, and it looked like the little baby wants to lie down, which means it's super tired. Hi everyone, my name is BUSANI, and behind the camera we've got ROAN. And these little and these buffaloes, if you have a look on their body, they covered themselves with mud. So because yesterday it was a nice hot day, so they were wallowing themselves to cool that big body down, because they don't have sweat glands. And they were resting here, all of them. It seems like now they just started to be active and they're walking around. So buffaloes are the animals that are classified as crepuscular, which is the animal that active early hours of the day and late in the afternoon. So in the front of the head, there's some old wise females and males. They're known as pathfinders. So those old females and males, they're the ones that knows where is the good grazing spot, and they know where are the water holes around. So we're gonna take you to Lauren quickly.
Morning madness at the hyena den. We have had so much action already in this short space of time. I will update you on everything, but very, very quickly. We have an upset herd of elephants here. They do not like the presence of the hyenas. My name is Lauren. I have Marcello on camera. Just going to keep my eye on the elephants. If they move forward, we will reposition, and they've chased every single hyena off. We had Ribbon, Intima, Heart, Swazi, Indabele, and Ngwazi. Now the elephants were just feeding. Excuse the sun. It's not an ideal position, but we actually had to move. And they're not happy because they've came across the hyenas, not us. So all the hyenas run away, but there's actually been a lot of interaction in between the clan that I need to tell you about. Heart and Intima were very aggressive and dominant towards Indabele. They chased her off, tails up. They chased her completely away from the den. It was incredible. Swazi seems to be accepted a lot more than his sister. Indabele's really not so welcome here. Okay, Marcel, what I'm going to do is just move. We can't afford to get caught into this sort of moment. I'm going to go all the way around. And then we can see the hyenas. They're hiding, and Ngwazi's in the den. And then we'll also be able to see the elephants. Bear with me, everyone. What a morning. Oh no, I think everybody's ran. Shame we missed the hyenas. It was such an incredible interaction. But we're a lot safer here. And there's the elephants. Now, Ribbon's not looking great, everyone. I'm sure she'll be fine, but she's very skinny. Very, very skinny. She's limping. She needs a really good meal. Elephants, why are you always determined to come to the den? You're going to smell them, and I'm sure it's not pleasant. But everybody's ran. I hope they come back. You can see they're dust bathing. Swazi's not been as confident today as I've seen him in the past with the elephants. I think they have probably not gone too far away. They're coming closer to the den. You see how huddled together they are with that youngster at the front? Debbie, I don't know. This is a very sort of lush, thick area in the block. There's not really any massive roads. So they come here for food. And then they get a whiff of the hyenas. And I think what's happening here could be the matriarch at the front here. I'm guessing, you cannot conclusively say that. And they've all huddled together. Sometimes elephants like to let a little one smack the other one. Sometimes elephants like to huddle together and charge the threat. They do not like the smell of predators, any predator. And sometimes they want to make their presence known. Say, hey, move out of our way. We're here. We're feeding. Get lost. And I think that's what they were attempting to do face the threat head on. But of course, all the hyenas have skedaddled, and now they're feeding. There were all the hyenas were here just lounging around. But Heart's acting very, very dominant. Not towards Ribbon, but I'm worried about this one. Ribbon has to bounce back soon. She's looking really skinny. Now we will have to pull out if there's no hyenas around, but I just want to see which direction the elephants go. And if they walk behind us, we'll let them go. If they walk to the side, we'll let them go. If they come forward, we will also move. And I can see Ribbon. She's just way behind us in the thicket. But Debbie, you're right, the elephants always come here. The grass must be super delicious. Okay, I'm going to make a decision on what to do here. We're going to send you across to Rowan and his leopard.
So we're starting off with a bang. We are now with the Nyala female's youngster. She is breathing quite quickly. The Nyala female managed to catch an impala lamb yesterday afternoon, and she hoisted it in this tree. So look at this youngster, what it's doing. It's actually retracting into the tree, trying to hide itself, because there's an impala ram looking in this direction. And now the last thing she would want is for the start alarm calling, because it's going to give away her position. So she's almost trying to hide herself just by retracting further into the tree. But what a sight. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful sight. See the sunlight catching the side of her eye there. Lovely morning. She's just keeping an eye on all these impalas. Seems like a number of them coming past us. What's interesting is she's in this tree, which is a jackalberry, and the mother is just a little further off, about 100 meters from here, further east, in a different jackalberry. Don't know what she sees. I wish I knew. She'd also be able to pick up scent or sounds a little bit further off. With beautiful light on the side of her face now. It almost looks like she doesn't really want to be in this tree anymore. She's ready to pounce. See a little pink on the nose. Splayed out whiskers. But very aware and very awake of everything that's going on around her. That golden morning light just lighting up half of her face. And then of course she looks at us. Now she's looking at Nicky. He just pulled in behind us. And a beautiful spot pattern. She's just a beautiful animal. Oh, there we go. Big yawn. Thinks she might jump out. There we go, join her mom in the same tree. See the tail caught up on the other side. Yeah, now she's looking straight to where mom is. Her mom's also looking at her. Oh, maybe she goes higher up. AC, asking how old is she? AC, she was born, well, got the date as the 15th of April, 2019. So she's about, what makes it, a year and 8 months. A year and 8.5 months. So not too old. She'll still spend quite a bit of time with her mom in this area. But also depends. Her mom's been contact calling and calling for another mate in the area since the Tambuti Tom is no longer with us. Which meant that another different male has moved into the area. And of course, that male would be mating with the mom, which means she's spending a little less time around the mother, especially when that happens. But she'll get a part of her mom's territory, luckily for us, and therefore she'll also mate with the new male moving into the area. None of us have seen, well, we've seen the new male, but none of us have been able to photograph him or figure out his spot pattern. So it's one of those which we've never seen before, and it's quite likely he's come out of Kruger National Park, so he's not used to vehicles at all. But yeah, she's about 1 year and 8 months old. So she's now keeping an eye on Nicky and seeing the way he's moving. Nicky's going towards the mom. Just indecisive, does not know where to look. Quite funny, she just ate, and this is a thing about cats, lions, leopards. They are so opportunistic. So even though she just had an impala lamb or half an impala lamb, she's keeping an eye on a different herd of impalas, maybe even the same herd that lost the lamb. Almost ready to pounce. Luckily for, well, all the leopards in the areas, that the grass is so long at this stage, so it's quite easy for them to sneak up to potential prey. So she gave us another yawn, which means there's some activity coming. So I think we're going to sit here for a while. We might even join the mom, see what she's up to, if she's got the carcass and put it in another tree. But we're going to spend quite a bit of time with these two animals, see what happens.
Wild Earth is launching our brand new Explorer program with an opportunity to win a very special Wild Earth expedition. The lucky winner will get a behind-the-scenes Wild Earth experience at the magnificent and beyond Ngala Tainted Safari Camp. The prize includes a 3-night stay for you and a friend with a chance to sleep out in the unique Ngala treehouse. Become a Wild Earth Explorer and stand a chance to win this and many other prizes. Terms and conditions apply.
We've seen these Ellies really chase wild dogs before. Let's get into spot. There we go, there it comes. Look at that, isn't that amazing?
Expect the unexpected here on Wild Earth daily.
This is Rusty. He's my favorite vehicle and we've been through all the good times here in the bush. Now, if you feel a connection to Djuma Game Reserve like I do, then we have a fantastic opportunity for you. You can have your name engraved on a brushed metal plaque just like this one, and we will attach it to Rusty so you can always be with us on safari in spirit. We will even send you a digital photograph once your plaque is mounted on Rusty. Spaces are limited, so grab your spot now.
My name is TAYLA MCCURDY and I work for Eco Training. I love hearing from all of the viewers. However, I particularly enjoy those of you who have been watching for a few years. Your questions are just so advanced and they really get me thinking. If you'd like to ask a question on Wild Earth, you need to register on our website. Once you've done that, head to the live safari page and submit your questions below the live feed.
Alright, so we also find a breeding herd of elephants around here, where they, looks like they're running, probably, not happy with something. There's a beautiful group of them on the road. So all of a sudden, just these big ones started to run, and the whole herd just followed them. So no visual for now, but we're going to try the other side. Maybe they might come out to that open area. But they're leading south. There's a way of sometimes some behavior the elephants do. And there you find maybe there is a male that always pushes them. And that's why they're not so comfortable with the vehicles, or I don't think it's all about us. That all of a sudden you just run. But I'm sure we might find them because it looks like it's a nice herd. There's probably many of them that are already gone forward there. Maybe find it's a way of maybe reuniting again. So I'm going to be sending you over to Lauren with her and leopard.
So this little female's moved further up the tree, and to actually keep an eye on impala ram, seems that actually you'll hear the impala ram every now and then. He's giving it off an alarm call, that psh sound. Big yawn. He's going further up. Because what happened is the mom came down the tree. And now the impala might have seen some movement, being uncertain of what it is. It's just giving an alarm call every now and then. It's not an incessant alarm call knowing it's a leopard. It's almost saying, okay, I can see something, and if you're a predator, I know you're there, but not very convincingly. And then this little female, she keeps going higher and higher and higher, trying to see where her mom is, exactly where or what her mom's doing. Also just keeping an eye on the impala. That's a beautiful sight. Looks like she's got a bit of fur or something stuck between her teeth. There's now more impala starting to alarm call. Again, they'll even do this. She's coming down. Oh, it's going to be a big leap towards us. Reverse. I think she realized that was a bit high. First leopard you'll ever see that's scared of heights. Kelly, who's only 7 years old, wants to know if leopards sleep in tree. Kelly, absolutely, every now and then. It's a safety thing for them. Being up a tree, they wouldn't be bothered by hyenas, or especially hyenas. Also, lions wouldn't really want to climb trees, even though they can. It's very awkward for them coming down. Actually, you can see her slinking away. Now that the impalas are alarm calling, she wants to get out of this area. You actually just see the grass moving every now and then. But yes, Kelly, they would sleep in trees. They prefer to sleep on the ground. I mean, it is more comfortable. But if need be, and I think, hopefully you would have seen those photos before of leopards on a branch with all four paws just hanging down. Just see her there in the back. Every now and then you'll see her head pop up. But she's literally leopard crawling in the direction where she last saw her mom. We might just catch her right in front of Nikki's vehicle as she moves past. Trying to stick as low as she can and make her way back to the other tree where the Nyala female was. Absolutely amazing to see an actual leopard crawl, or leopard crawling. I can't see her for now. She's just behind a little bush. Yeah, there she goes, in front of the car. And I think what we might do is let's try and loop around. Maybe she goes into the next tree. Off. Like I said, they could sniff the leopard or think they saw movement in the grass. Oh, she's got a very full belly. I think that's why she landed so non-gracefully. It's absolutely hilarious to see her fall next to the tree. So here she is, right in front of us. Maybe I'm going to try to move my head out the way. See, she's looking up the tree. I wonder if the mom moved the carcass over here. Although, again, it was only an impala lamb, so I don't think there was too much to feed on. But she'd be able to find her mom now, if the mother is still here. The mother is the one who kicked off all the commotion from the impalas. Either made a little sound or just her scent drifting in that direction would have caused the impalas to alarm call. Okay, I'm going to move a little bit forward again. Just try avoid all the jackalberries in this area. Actually, I'm just going to park here, see if she maybe goes up this tree. But yeah, it usually happens around 2 to 2.5 years old. Though we've had leopards here stay for 3 with their mother. Thing is, she is old enough to survive by herself. Okay, she's gone past the tree. That's one thing we've learned with some of our older, maybe stepbrothers, if you will. Because her mom's the Nyala female, and the Nyala female's mother was the Black Dam female, and Black Dam's female, her previous youngsters, the Makoti male, and Black Dam female died when the Makoti male was only 13 months old. So she's at this stage 18 months old. And Makoti male and his brother both survived. Not too sure, I think both of them actually moved out the area by now, having a new male leopard in here. But surely able to survive from about a year. It's the earliest we've seen on Ngala. And these are leopards. They are really the ultimate surviving cats. They can really just survive anywhere. Sorry, I've used the word survive a lot. I'm trying to loop around and find this leopard again. It's my multitasking skills. So she's just in there. She's hidden quite well. BK's got her. There we go. Just trying to sniff out her mother. The Nyala female did the exact same thing yesterday. She just left the cub without saying a word. She just jumped down and left. Stayed away the entire day, and then in the afternoon killed an impala lamb, and they both fed on it together. There is nothing left. Actually, there's a head and 2 legs left of the impala lamb. It's quite interesting. So it means she'll probably come back. Here, they're not going to let that go to waste. A shame. Such a tiny little thing. Used to be. Very cleverly concealed. Not the thickest branch. Okay, she's moving back now. She's gone into a little bit of a thicket. Instead of moving, I'm going to actually just see exactly where she goes. Let her do the moving. And we just sit for a little while. Of course, even with the impala's alarm calling, we don't want to move around too much, and then it's our fault we give away their position. So we're just going to sit here and see where she moves to, and make a decision from there. It's absolutely extraordinary how well they can hide if they really want to. Didn't quite catch your name, but the question is... Sol 50, Set 50. Have I ever seen a leopard that is afraid to climb a tree? So far, not yet. I can now say that I've seen a leopard that is afraid to come down a tree. I mean, that was a first for me. But no, I don't think I've ever seen a leopard that's afraid to climb up a tree. They are phenomenal climbers. Even at the age of 6 weeks, they start climbing little trees and branches. I think at this age, they're just comfortable climbing anything. But I have seen quite a few leopards fall out the tree. Like this one this morning. Oh, not that she fell, but she didn't really land too well. I'll be very honest about that. I'm trying to find her now, but like I said earlier, the grass is so long that if she just hunkers down and starts leopard crawling, we're going to have a terrible time trying to find her. And the mom's gone. Inyala female, she saw the vehicles coming and she just thought, okay, I'm booking out. Clever girl. Quite funny because her brother used to be very relaxed, but it is always like that with siblings. You get the one very habituated sibling and then the one shyer one. She was definitely the shy one, which is sad for us because she's the one that stuck around. I'm trying to follow Nikki's 2 trucks now. See if we can catch up with this youngster again. I don't think she'll go too far. Like BK showed you earlier, there's still a bit of the Impala carcass left. I think she's just trying to figure out where the Inyala female went, and then she'll head back to the carcass. I also think there are a number of hyenas in this area because coming up here, see about 2 or 3 tracks of hyenas going in all different directions. Okay, I'm not finding her now. I'm just circling the tree where they hoisted the carcass. So we'll do another circle, see if we can find this little female anywhere. She's not hiding too well, but for now we're going to send you over to Andrew.
Good luck, Ron. And, you know, we seem to not finding our elephants. It's probably maybe because of wherever they were running into. It's probably they're still in a thicket. They haven't come out. So we came across where here you can actually, you know, when we talk about elephants creating their own water holes during this time of the year where it's wet, this is what we're talking about. Where now you see the actually soil itself, it comes so much loose or very soft, and this is where it's actually not easy for us when we talk about also driving off-road when it's wet. We're trying to avoid such a situation where these elephants, wherever they're going, they actually notice places where it's very soft because they sink down. And when that happened, since they love playing with very wet mud and they're all just going to get around, you know, move around in the same area. Sometimes once it's the earth comes mixed up with, you know, waters and the soil, then it forms mud already. And again, they will use their legs just to create or excavate, you know, deeper and deeper until the water's stuck. If we're looking at little pond over here, it's already, enough, sufficient, a pond for anything that would come and probably needed a drink, such as an antelope or so, or other elephants. This is where sometimes when they don't have much of water hole in the area, this is what they rely on. But, you know, until it gets bigger, it's not enough because you find there will come maybe 20 animals in the group at once. Jim, so you want to know how many elephant herds here in Djuma. So I'm not actually sure with the whole individual group, but we see quite a few groups coming in and out. Could be maybe more than 12 groups sometimes, or especially this time of year where the grass is all available and they can roam in and out of this area freely, since they are not actually strictly territorial. So that's why sometimes it's actually so difficult to actually notice or knowing exactly which group is which and that. And until you know individual group or how they behave every time you're there. But what we've seen this morning with this group that we actually frame, they seem to little, disturb a bit. And then, disturbed is that they're threatened. Whether it was something that happened that was pushing them off, whether it was something that disturbed them, or then I'm going to stick in the winner boundary now just to see if there is an elephant that's going to show up for us. Then I'm going to be sending you over to ROAN again with the leopard.
Wow, we have found just some little piglets, and there's 4 elder warthogs, and there's a lot of piglets around here, and they're just waking up now, not too long ago. So they're using the drain pipe near this big main road where we are. So we're still not too far away from where we saw that herd of buffalo. And on the left-hand side, we've got the female leopard. So I have spotted that female leopard from far away, and it looked like she's very interested now onto the warthogs. She's keeping an eye on the warthogs, but because where the warthogs are, it's a lot more open, and the grass, it's so short. So I think she's waiting for them to go a little bit further away, and have a look how she's facing or watching those warthogs. So she's waiting for them to go a little bit further into the long grass, then she will start stalking them. But it does look like she's very interested. So she was fast asleep earlier on, and she heard the noise of the warthogs playing around. So RJ, if she does go for warthogs, normally she will go for the little piglets. And warthogs, the old warthogs are going to be a little bit scared of the warthogs, of the leopard being close by, because she wants to surprise them, and they will immediately run away. And she will quickly go for the little baby. So the little baby warthogs are quite vulnerable for almost everything. I have seen a bigger bird of prey catching those tiny little piglets before. Wow, this is really nice to see. And she's still got her head up. She's still keeping an eye on those warthogs. So she's waiting for the good time to go. And for the warthogs, they're all females. With those tusks, they can cause a huge damage to her. Yeah, the warthogs are a little bit quite far away now for us to be able to see the tusk. But the dangerous task on the warthogs are those tusks at the bottom of the jaw. So those are sharp, and they can cut the skin of a leopard open. But the female leopard, they don't really like to go for the old warthogs, so they normally go for the little piglets. And if it was a leopard, then definitely he will go for the big warthogs. Wow. I can't believe how lucky I am. So lucky again. You can just see them there. The warthogs are not aware of the leopard being close by. And now they've got their head down. They're busy grazing along there. And some of them are very wet because where they sleep at night, there's a lot of water underneath or inside that drain pipe. So I think I'm going to sit very tight here and see what's going to happen. We're going to take you across to Andrew. He's got some ground hornbill.
Thank you very much, Busani. So here, what we found very interesting, or I might say rare species of bird. When I'm saying rare, it's not strictly rare, but they one of the endangered birds as well, southern ground hornbill, and I never actually, seen them so close like this. And actually, one came to this very beautiful juggleberry tree here. And then the second one and the third one came to the same tree, where I believe it's one of the bird that, you got a lot of males in one group, and then you find maybe one female in the group. So sometimes there can be group of about 7 in a group, probably 10 together, depend, but their breeding is not actually doing very well, where they're all conservationists. They work together with all ranges. Every time they make sure wherever this bird nesting, they got to make sure or know exactly where they're nesting. So they will investigate, but making sure this bird are not around, so they have to sneak in and maybe remove one egg, take it to incubation, where somewhere probably not spread, endangered species. And then because the only problem when they leave 2 eggs together, more likely that the one hash, it will more likely to eat the second hash. And that's actually cannibalize happening between the chicks. So they're stronger. The first hash then is stronger than the second hash. And they only actually take long to actually breed. They don't actually breed very well. Sherry, I agree with you. You're very right. They have beautiful call, and you hear these kind of vocal, very much hoot sound from distances, which I was trying to see here, because usually I think I've seen a lot of male, I haven't seen a female. I'm trying to see which one is a female among them. That would always look the same color as a male, but there's a unique painting under just where the wattles attached to the bottom beak. See a lot of greenish there, which none of them that I can see looks like all males over here. That could happen that maybe they are trying to look for a place to nest. So they are actually cooperate hunters. They would hunt on snakes, pretty much lizards. Listen to that call. So PK, you want to know why they're in danger? They are, since they're actually, controlled by a female, and they're all a lot of males, they only one breed in a group. So then that happened, they only take a long time, for, if she lose their offspring, and then they only take about maybe another 5 years to breed again, at least. But then that time, then it's so much of a gap between, intervals and the second breed. So that's why they don't make it so much, or we don't see so much of them. But in another way, it's their habitation. In a long time, they actually since then, been disturbed by even human being, wherever they are. But before people know, if the people outside of the village don't understand the nature, and of course, they wouldn't care because nobody maybe told them. They would, kill such a bird, and then of course, for the reserve itself, it's actually so much difficult. That's why the word is out there, especially SENS. It's actually, we work so much with the community that wherever we see on bulls, quick link to Pinda.
Female from the tree where she was, because she's seen that these warthogs here close by, they've gone into the long grass, and one of the piglets at the back, she was heading back into the direction of the drain pipe, which is more close to us, and then she became very interested. That is why she went down from where she was lying or where she was sleeping. So now she's gonna start closing the gap and heading straight into those warthog piglets. I think we're gonna sit tight to exactly where we are because we don't want to interfere what's gonna happen. Wow, but have a look how open it is. If she does walk across here, this big main road, we'll be able to see it. And as soon as she's starting to chase, then we'll drive and follow her and see what's going to happen. But I'm keeping my fingers crossed that we'll be able to see the whole action just in front of us here. Though we're looking straight into the sun, but we'll be able to see her nicely. But I lost her visual now. I lost her view, but she's perhaps starting to close the gap now, which is the good thing. So I have seen before the warthogs, if the predator killing the warthog, a leopard and lion, because of they've got like a lot of strong muscle on the throat or on the neck, and they don't die very easily. But for the female leopard, she's gonna go for that tiny little piglets, and gonna last very long, and they're gonna die very quickly as well. Linda, they born very, very small, and they're born blind, so they spend a couple of weeks in a barrow or in a drain pipe where they're born, and after a few weeks, then they will be able to move around. But I think, sorry about that, we're quite close to the main road. Fortunately, nothing we can do. We can't control the traffic in this area. But I will say maybe couple of grams, which is super tiny. And these ones, they were born. We first started to see them, and it was late November. And now I would say probably some of them are about a month old. Some of them are just over a month old. So if she does walk across here the main road, we'll be able to see her. So the other warthogs are moving away. So these were to us, perhaps as soon as she starts chasing them, they will then run into the direction of the drain pipe where they did spend the night. So she's going to have to try to close that gap and chase after them before they get into that drain pipe. But sometimes the little ones, because they're quite small and they don't really see nicely or see above the grass level. So sometimes they'll run past the drain pipe and it's when they are going to get stuck in the long grass. Can you imagine if you're so small and you're trying to run in the long grass? You can't really see the grass seeds will go straight into your eyes and you go blind. Yeah, but we're going to sit very tight here and watch. I'm looking forward to see some action. See the little ones. So now they're getting to the age whereby they will start eating grass. Alison, it doesn't seem like she has smelt or aware of anything. Have a look, she's got her head down. So she's busy feeding on the grass there where she is. And she's unaware that there's a predator nearby. And you can just see it. If she was aware of the leopard being close by, then she will start running away like the other sounder or group of warthogs that just ran away. So there were plenty of them. I think this one, she's not aware. Let's try to count how many piglets we can see there. 1, 2, 3. I think there's 5 at least. I think it's at least 5 piglets. So sometimes if you follow the leopard and if the leopard wants to increase chances of finding something, she will then take her time. She's very, very patient because she doesn't want to lose any opportunity. Shame. I think the mama warthog, she's gone down on the front knees now, or she just stood up again. So she was trying to get as low as she can into the level of the grass. But you'll see as soon as the female leopard walks across this big main road, she's going to walk as low as she can and trying her best to not being seen by those warthogs. But one little baby warthog at the back, it seems like she sensed something. You see, she's walking back and forward and she's running back to the drain pipe now. Look at that. Look at that, walking backwards. That's not very good. Because that a female leopard, if she's seen this one, if she's seen this baby warthogs on its own and walking to the direction of the drain pipe, she'll definitely go for it. Because the mom, she's not gonna be close by. What? The little babies are coming back. So we're gonna have to keep watching the main road for that female leopard because she's gonna close the gap shortly if she does see these baby warthogs that are coming back. So now they're increasing the chances of them getting killed. So Michael, the mother warthogs, if she's seen that the little babies have been caught by mostly the leopard, she will then try to mark charge or charge at the charge at the at the leopard, but she's not gonna do anything more than that. Oh. So the thing is, the mom, she's close by now, and I can't see any sign of her. So you might find out she want to, because she knows that the warthogs, they had to come out in some stage. They had to come out to graze. So she might follow them and stand by and wait for them near the drain pipe. See any sign of her around? I'm sure if she did see the baby warthogs that are going back, she was gonna be very interested. Maybe she's taking her time. As I said earlier on, that the leopard, she's very, very passionate when it comes to hunting. See the mama warthog now, she's looking back. Perhaps she might have smelled the leopard being so close by. So now the warthogs are coming out again. So they're not back into the threat. They're just on the edge there. You can just see the little tiny ears sticking out. So I think we're gonna sit very tight here. We haven't seen any signs of hair coming through here or coming across the main road. So where we are, we're gonna sit very tight, and hopefully she does show herself. But when she started walking down that, I think, as I said, we're gonna sit very tight here where we are and see what's gonna happen.
Good luck, Busani. And you can't believe it. We just turn around there, talk about this well-disturbed ground by the elephants. They just return to that spot right now where we look for them. It looks like they kind of like turn back from where they came from the last position where we lost them, and they just sort of like appear from the other side. So now they actually doing that mud bathing again, or wallowing. And all the noises they're making there, just because of all the mixed of a young one and bigger one, and everybody want to get to the mud and get wet. As you can see, these young one all shiny. And we're on actually western boundary over here. They actually may cross into the west where we cannot follow them. But it's cool. It's good actually to able to see them again, because there we didn't actually get enough of them. They were just moving quickly. But you can see they seems to be kind of like looking around too much, but they're also enjoying. So the trunk that they're using to suck the mud, and then they're all just gonna blow it out onto their body while they do that. So this is all about cooling down. So I'm gonna see if I can maybe get close to this elephant, see if they're stationary for us.
Just an update from our side. What have we been up to? Well, the hyenas did not come back, so we went to check on Miss Tlalamba. Now, I haven't done a tracking segment in quite a while, so here we go. Many of you ask, how do you tell the difference between male and female leopard? How do you tell the difference? Well, when you're looking at their track, I'm going to tell you how to tell the difference. I'm just going to put my hand here, Marcel. I don't have particularly large hands, but you can see this is Tlalamba, because we tracked her all the way from the kill. She's back on Djuma. But if we did not know that was Tlalamba, all we know at this moment is that it's female leopard. It's definitely a leopard. A lion's would be much, much, much larger. And it's fresh. You can see that because, well, it's very, very clear. If you blow on a track, I'm going to blow on my hand. You can see it's less defined. So this is fresh, but we also know she was leaving last night. We have that knowledge. Now, I'm not advertising Vaseline, but I'm going to put this next to Tlalamba, and you can see that's how small her track really is. It's tiny, it's so petite, and that's how we know that it's a female. A male would be much, much larger. Maybe Tandy's cub, not so much at that age, but this is definitely a female leopard. Now, another clue to how we know that it's fresh, as well as it being crisp, I'm going to show you, Marcel can follow, is that, look at the tire marks. Somebody drove here yesterday. It wasn't us, but someone drove. Okay? Then elephants came by. Do you see the elephant tracks everywhere? Tlalamba's tracks are on top of that. They're on top of the vehicles, they're on top of the elephant. So what that tells you is that when the last vehicle went down last night, she traveled. That's another clue to look for. They're on top of the tracks. Now you can see, I can't see any ones of her track inside an elephant track that maybe Marcel can get. I was going to give you a size, maybe here. Here you can see, can you get this, Marcel? This is an elephant, roughly, give or take. And in the middle here is Tlalamba's track. That's just a little size comparison. You can see the elephant was also moving in this direction, both Tlalamba and elephant, because the toenails are here, the heels are here. So I just thought I would give you an update on what we're up to. But we know it was Tlalamba. But if we didn't know it was Tlalamba, at this stage we could only really speculate female leopard. You would most likely guess Tandy or Tlalamba due to the area that we're in. We're on the eastern boundary. Definitely would not be Shadulu, highly unlikely to be Kuchava in this area. So you would put together all the pieces, but luckily we do know that it is her. It's very, very fresh tracks. I think after we left her last night, she probably slept for a little while longer and then decided it's time to go back to Djuma. Torchwood's not that great. No, I'm joking, Torchwood is great. But we want Tlalamba on Djuma, so she's heading this way. Whether we find her or not is another question. But she's definitely back on our side of the world. Now, when you come to hard ground, hard substrate becomes very difficult to track. Benji, leopards don't really have a variety of calls, not like hyenas do anyway. They have vocalizations. You'll hear a leopard saw, a very raspy raspy sound coming from the voice box that is non-ossified, and that means it can project. It's made from cartilage, so it will vibrate in the throat, which allows them to project the sound further. And sawing is really the only vocalization that you will really hear a leopard make, especially when it's marking its territory and it's trying to announce its presence. But mothers do have a sort of sound, a chuffing sound that they'll make to call their cubs. You will hear them do that, and it's not a saw, it's a slightly different sound. And sometimes leopards make, again, a chuffing sound when they're in the presence of other leopards. But really, that's the only vocalizations that you will hear these cats make. There's not a sort of spectrum or a variety. There'll be a saw and then a chuff, contact call. Okay, I'm going to keep following these tracks and see if I can at least figure out where Miss Tlalamba has gone. But for now, you're going to cross to Busani to see what his leopard is getting up to.
Wow. So these warthogs are still grazing around the train pipe. And by the looks of it, that big warthog there, it's not a mom, because you can't really see just under her stomach, you can't really see her mammal glands. So which means the other two females that were with these warthogs, it might be one of them, it might be the mother of these five. The mother of these piglets. So that big warthog that we can see, it seems like it's last year babies. Because you can see around its mouth, you can't really see those tusks yet. So that shows you that it's still very young, so unexperienced. So I don't know why these lately piglets didn't follow the rest of the warthogs. And the leopard now, she's stalking on a bush just on her left-hand side. Sure, piglets den or the drain pipe where they stay, it's just over here. You see, there's a tallish bush just on the right-hand side of that tall. She's not very far away or from the den side where they spend night. So I think they want to, if there's something chasing them, they want to quickly go back into the burrow. But although we can't really see her right now, but she's in line with the bushes just on the left-hand side of us. So we still walk across this big main road. Perhaps if she does walk across this big main road, she will walk as low as she can, trying to be the same height as the grass level. So they're starting to, the old teenager, she's starting to walk away. So perhaps the little piglets will then follow her. Shame. Shame. She's taking her time. She wants to wait for the perfect time. Then she'll start. She'll start moving shortly, I think. Sometimes I do wish that I could speak the animal language. because it's quite hard sometimes to be definitely sure what's going to happen. But I still got a feeling that she's going to come out shortly. You see, all the 5 piglets now, they've got their head down. Or there's one that's facing the drain pipe or the barrow. They also got their head most of them, they've got their head down, busy feeding. So happy if we can get to see some action. Sham. Nelly, sometimes it does take a very long time. Sometimes it can be very quick. I have seen or I have been with the animal for about an hour, busy stalking something. And most of the time, if the animal does take a while to hunt, that kind of hunting or stalking mode does become very successful. Because that female leopard, she's a very good hunter. She's the one that, if you were watching the wild earth in the last couple of days, she's the one that caught the impala and hoisted it up on a tree. But I have seen her before, Shem. Sorry about that. We are in close to one of the main road here, so there's gonna be a lot of traffic. It seems like the warthogs are still around here. But because these warthogs, they have seen cars many times before. So it does not do anything to them because where they've got that drain pipe, it's quite close. It's just above the main road. Oh. So, gonna let these people come past. Yeah, sometimes there's nothing we can do about the traffic. So the warthogs are just behind the bush there. We're still waiting for this female leopard to come through. But the old warthog, it does look like she sent something. And now yes, Leslie, I think she's definitely away now. Look. So that female leopard, she's just now in front of her. So now the wind is blowing from the leopard to the warthog. So now they're getting close and close to that leopard, which is not a good thing. You see her lifting up the head, sniffing the air. So now she can smell the predator. Although she wants to make sure exactly where is the predator, So now we're gonna hope that the little piglets doesn't follow her, because those little piglets, they cannot run very faster than the female leopard. So she's still trying to find exactly where is this predator in the area. But because the bush is quite dense in front of her, or just on the left-hand side of her, she cannot really see through those bushes. But where she is, it's where the leopard is. The piglets will survive, Lynn, if the mom get caught, because it's a mom, it's one of the sabedite, an old teenager that's with the lady. If they get caught, then the little piglet, you can see them making a noise now. Look at that. Running away. So only 2 little piglets ran away. So the other 3 are still around the den site or around the drain pipe. So the little piglets, if that old one did get caught, then they will join another group of warthog. But the old, oh, there she is. She's coming now. She's walking across. So she knew exactly that 3 little piglets are still here close by. But now she's following those ones that she saw walking away. Look at that. That's really amazing. Look how beautiful she is. Have a look how she's using that sign as a cover now. Look, she's looking just on the side there. She's so clever. Because it's a lot more open in front of her where she's going. She's using those rocks or that signboard as the cover. Make sure that she doesn't being spotted. This is really amazing. So the other 3 piglets are still, they went back quickly into the drain pipe. But it seems like she's more interested on those other 2 piglets that ran away. See, now she's facing back this way now. So she knew that there were more than 2 little piglets. So she might after that walk perhaps into this direction and come next to the drain pipe. And look at that. That's really amazing. To be able to find a leopard right next to the main road. It's come on here. And mostly in the daytime like this. This is amazing. So the places where you'll see the leopard in the daytime, mostly in a service sense. She was sniffing up that sign, but she's still very interested. Oh yeah, she comes. She's not too sure what she wants to do. There she comes. She's still looking around. I think perhaps she didn't see that the other 3 piglets, they went into the drain pipe. Wow, that's a beautiful cat. That is a beautiful cat. Look at that. She's coming straight now to the direction of the drain pipe. So we're gonna hope that if she does come and those little piglets stay inside the barrel. You want to see or knows? They might smell that there is a predator nearby, and they will start panicking and running out. So which is very bad, because if they do run out from the barrel, then they will run straight into her mouth. There we go. She's getting close now. Pipe. She's getting close to the drain pipe. By the inside the drain pipe, then who knows, they might panic and start running away, and mostly they might try. There is no older water inside there. She's standing now just on the entrance of that drain pipe. But she's so a little bit scared as well to go right inside there, because she knows that the warthogs are so dangerous. So she might come back. Look at her. She might come back just above the drain pipe. Look at that. That is amazing. No, she's not very interested. Lisa, I haven't seen leopard digging the piglets out of the den before, and also she cannot dig those piglets in the den site where they are, because it's a concrete pipe. So it's going to be very, very impossible for her to dig those piglets. Seems like she's walking away now slowly. But Lisa, I have seen a lion before digging the piglets or the warthogs out of the burrow and pull them out with mouth, which is quite very tough to see, or horrible to see it. Seems like she's walking away. Perhaps now she's gonna go back into the nice shady spot to spend. We were so lucky to see her walking around. Because we're gonna go and try to find ourselves some cheetah so long.
There's a grounding earthiness to this place that we feel in our ancestors. It's a place where, believe it or not, we evolved as a human species, and anyone who's come to Africa will understand that. the connectivity that the continent has to the person and to people's souls is next level. I am thoroughly looking forward to taking you on your next adventure when we explore all the small and big things.
Catch up with the guides daily here on Wild Earth. An ever-increasing part of the global population is losing its connection with nature. Wild Earth is here to reduce people's stress and anxiety, allowing you to escape into nature even just for a few hours a day. However, Wild Earth is expensive to run, and we need help from you to keep this ship going. Wild Earth Explorers gives you the opportunity to be a part of a program that supports the sharing of nature with the world.
My name is James Hendry, and I work here at Djuma Private Game Reserve in the Sabi Sands on the western fringes of the Greater Kruger National Park. My favorite part of getting questions from viewers is that we get to have long and varied discussions about all sorts of different aspects of nature. Because our audience comes from all over the world, it's very special to have different perspectives from everywhere. If you want to submit a question on Wild Earth, you need to register on our website. Once registered, go to the Live Safari page and submit your question beneath the live feed.
Have you been watching Wild Earth and dreamt of being right there on safari with one of the guides? Well, now you can. Wild Earth is offering you a chance to buy a ticket to dream. You or a friend can hop on board a live Wild Earth show and join our guide on safari. The ticket is redeemable at any of our locations, anytime in the future. Only a limited number of tickets are available, so don't wait. Get your ticket now and start dreaming. Terms and conditions apply.
Unfortunately, not much luck with Miss Klalamba. She went deep into a block. And it's the same block that has a really tricky drainage that I have been stuck in many times because of leopards. Also checked the hyena den, no one returned. It's very hot now, that's probably why. But I've been giving you some updates on the book that I've been reading on trees. And I wanted to give you another one because it's so fantastic. So Marcel's going to work his magic, give you some creative views of the trees. The Hidden Life of Trees. The next sort of update that I have for you is that back in the day in the forestry industry, they used to think that trees growing too closely together is a bad thing. And they used to get felled because doesn't it sound logical that a tree will go better if there's no competitors to take away the sunlight by sort of growing its crown or take away water? Competition, right? And maybe for trees belonging to different species, that is indeed the case. But trees belonging to the same species, it's actually not the case. Not the case at all. Now, for a forest, let's just think of a dense forest for a moment, although it's very dense here. It's been proven that they can help one another and feed one another. So if you fell those trees because they're getting too close together, it's not in the forest's best interest to lose any members of its own species, even the weak ones. It would leave gaps. It'll separate the underground network. It can disrupt the forest's sort of microclimate, if you like. It ruins the essence of the forest. And there's a really interesting study, and this is what I actually want to share with you. So some university, I cannot remember, realized that in an undisturbed forest, all trees synchronize their performance so that they're equally successful. What do I mean by that? Well, each tree will grow in its own location, even in the same area. It's not going to have the same soil, it's not going to have the same access to water or even nutrients in a forest. It's not going to be equal on the ground. And therefore, each tree is going to experience marginally different growing conditions. Some are going to grow slightly quicker because they've got the best soil, best access to water, and others slower, right? So you would think the rate of photosynthesis, the production of sugar, is going to be different. And that's what makes this research so incredible. The rate of photosynthesis across the board in this forest that they studied was all equal. So what's happening is that the trees of the same species are equalizing between the strong and the weak. So whether they're thick or whether they're thin, all members of the same species are using light to produce the same amount of sugar per leaf. So per leaf, they're all producing the same amount of sugar. And how are they doing that if they're in different conditions and have not got the same access to light? They're all packed together. Well, basically, there's an exchange going on. So whichever tree of the same species, I'm sure this forest was a beech forest, but I could be wrong, I can't remember. Whoever has an abundance of sugar hands it over to those that are struggling and not getting the abundance of sugar through underground roots. And whoever's struggling will receive help. Whoever's in a surplus will gain help. Now, fungi are involved, but essentially that underground network that I'm talking about acts as a gigantic redistribution network or mechanism. Isn't that incredible? So the essence of what I'm saying is trees of the same species in some forests, it benefits them to be close to one another so their underground networks can touch and they can share resources, they can share supplies. It's essential for a forest to work together, not compete. And this is what changed the forestry industry. We shouldn't fail just because we think there's too many beeches going close together. It's competition. They're not all going to thrive. We should fail some to give them some space. Absolutely not. That is not the case. You should never do this. You shouldn't leave the trees struggling. If you start to fail and kill the trees, you're going to kill that underground network. So instead of having a network of thriving trees, you're actually going to have gaps and individuals who are struggling for resources. So all the roots connect, and they connect through fungi, massive underground system, and they're exchanging resources. You're struggling. I've got heaps of sugar here. You know, I've got the best spot, the best soil, the best access to sunlight and water. Here, take some of my sugar. I'm struggling, give me here. And that's how it works between trees of the same species. And it's been proven by science. And the sort of set scenario was an undisturbed forest. Well done, Marcel. That was a really beautiful view of all the trees. So it sort of goes against the grain of how we used to think and how the forestry industry thought. Fell. No, don't fell. And yes, I'm just trying to finish off my thought there. As I'm working my way through this book, I am trying to update you, but I think there's just so much we don't know about trees that we've still got to learn. And felling because we think they're competing and we think it's affecting them is not the right way to go. Yes, there are some protected trees in Djuma. We have to be very, very careful when we're off-roading. Bundabashen, as we call it, we take great care. It's not the easiest thing, but for example, one of our prime protected trees here are the leadwood. Now, the leadwood are easy to recognize when they're adults. I bet you I can't find one now. I always think that they're very pale in color and their bark looks like crocodile skin, little squares, like a crocodile skin handbag in the form of a tree. But when they're young, they're very difficult to recognize. They are a combritum, and you've got to sort of, oh, hello. My goodness, oh, it's ribbon. I did not see you there, I'm so sorry. I think it's ribbon. Look at that injury. At least you'll be able to all see what I mean. She's looking skinny. So she obviously just left it then, and she's just trying to seek shade. Hey, Rib Robs. What did you do to that leg? Huh? You can see it's a front right. Not really putting weight on it. I think she'll bounce back, don't get me wrong, I really do. But at this moment in time, she's injured, she's in pain, and she's weak. But Heart's acting incredibly dominant these days. And Heart and Ribbon have always been relatively close, but, you know, it wouldn't surprise me if Heart tried to act a little bit too dominant. Oh, Ribbon. Well, this is my favourite roadblock of them all. Oh, dear. What would benefit Ribbon right now? I'm not entirely sure she could hunt with that leg as it stands. It would be for a huge carcass to get brought back to the den. And because she is high ranked, she can just sort of bully everyone off it and eat. She's looking really skinny. Marcel and I were talking earlier when she was at the den. I don't know what she's done. But just like Shimbulu, I'm sure she'll be fine. I'm sure slowly she'll start to put weight on it. It was very sweet. She ran to Ntima this morning. And Ntima was at the den, as if to say, protect me. Alex, I wouldn't necessarily say that hyenas have predators per se. There's no one that really hunts predators. Yes, a lion would chase them off. I mean, I wouldn't say they have predators per se. I think if a lion or lions were to approach right now, I mean, Ribbon would still run. She's still mobile. She's just limping quite severely. I don't think a leopard would particularly scare Ribbon. The worry would be other hyenas. And they wouldn't... It's not that they want to kill her in terms of to eat her. The worrying would be other hyenas for sure. But I wouldn't say hyenas have got predators. But she's vulnerable. Yes, of course she is. I don't know what she's done. But there's open wounds. So it's not a case of getting her leg stuck or someone biting her leg. There's open wounds on that leg. We had a look this morning. Oh, Ribbon. And this is why we don't find hyenas during the day. It's too hot now. It's too hot for that den to be active. There's no shade around the den. And she's just come. We're on Rebecca's Road and she's just seeking shade. We're next to the drainage. It's quiet. The ground is probably cool. Henry, I mean, I guess there's definitely a chance. Hostile, I don't know. But this is what happened to Corky. Corky was matriarch and she got seriously injured. We don't know if it was lions or other hyenas. There was lots of speculation. The Nkuhumas were denning around that time. We can never conclusively say. And I just think Corky couldn't act dominant anymore, couldn't maintain her position, just lost her strength, lost her willpower. And Ribbon obviously seized that opportunity. So I'm guessing there absolutely could be a shift. It's not impossible, that's for sure. And Heart's cubs are very dominant in their behaviour, the son and daughter. Really, really dominant little cubbies. They show more aggressive behaviour than Ngwazi and Shimbulu do. And Heart was acting extremely dominant around that den this morning and Ribbon was just sleeping. She could not keep up. And both Heart and Ntima chased away Ndebele. Really chased her. They allowed Swazi, but chased away Ndebele. But Ribbon's lucky in that she's got a daughter. She's got Ntima, who's an adult. She's going to be 4 in February. And we believe she's either pregnant or got youngsters. That's a strength for Ribbon. It would also be a strength for Ribbon if Ntima just took over. It's the same bloodline. But Heart, I think Heart's one to watch. We saw them stand together today, Ribbon and Heart, and the size difference is remarkable. Heart's bigger. Ribbon's looking just miserable. Makes me sad seeing animals of any shape and size and pain. Okay, I'm going to let Ribbon snooze, let her be, and we're going to send you across to Andrew with some spots.
I'll come your way. Keep us updated.
Right, everyone. So now, what you can see here, looks like it's our leopard again from last night. I think so. He didn't actually look at us so much that I can recognize his face well, but I think it must be him because we have to come to that area since I mentioned that we're gonna check the tracks if there's any tracks leading south further from here. But anyway, we found the tracks and then it was leading east from where we left him since he moved slightly northwest, and then I'm sure he came back to the very same area, and then now he's just lying on one of the fire break here, which is in Juma, just the northern Juma camp, boundary Bevlishoek. So it's, and then he was always just a little bit of a head up when we spot him. And there was a chance that, we were looking in that direction because there was no way we could spot him from that far. Then it doesn't look like painting so much anymore. It's probably had a lot of energy gone out last night, of a movement, all of those. Searching around, where I believe maybe he didn't actually do a lot of hunting since he had a full belly yesterday afternoon. But he loves it there, so much tall grasses, and he just I think he heard me. So he enjoyed so much. It's in a shade, so he's probably going to follow a shade around here quite a lot. Unless if maybe disturbed, but he might be around here for the entire day. At least we know where he is, so we always come around here trying to search for him and find him. Which is always, so important. So if it's possible, where there was a sighting yesterday or in the morning, the next drive you're gonna go, and then you know where you're gonna start. And if you don't find it, you always just plan on James, you're right. It's especially since yesterday, it's been a lot of and when I'm saying a lot of leopards been in the area here, including Kalamba and that. And also him was seen yesterday, and then that Mlowati male up in the east. So having all of these male around here, it shows this area. I think they love it, and the attraction for them, it's all about other females, because dominating for them, it means females. They want to dominate. It's a female. So understand so much of now a new antelope born and already running around here. So a food source could be one of those second attraction for them to be able to be around in an area where it's a lot of a lot of food for them. So I'm gonna stay put here unless if I get pushed by other guys who wanted to see the same leopard. But otherwise, let me send you over to a BUSANI with his frog.
Wow, it was so nice to see that leopard with Andrew. But we have found a farm nest frog. or it's also known as a grey tree frog. Because have a look on its body, it's quite grey. So sometimes, but now you can just see that it's more white than grey. So sometimes in a hottest day, they do change the color and become even more white. It's exactly the same thing that, like humans, if it's in a hot day, you will put in the sunscreen to protect yourself. For them, they change the color to even more white in the hottest day. Like today, it seems like it's going to be a nice hot day. So it's where it's going to spend time for the rest of the day. Then as soon as the sun goes down, then it will hop down into the grass and look for food. Because for it to be moving around this time of the day, a lot of predators are quite active, so they might see it jumping around. So that is why they prefer to move around at night. So at night, as soon as the sun goes down, they will go down and look for the insect. Now, because the snakes are quite active, most of the snakes are looking for food. But some of the snakes are also active at night, but there's not a lot of them that are active at night. So this time of the year, these formless frog, they do make a form just above the waterhole or above the pen system and lay eggs inside. But this one, it seems like it's not too close from the waterhole. Bubble, yes. So this is the only frog that do turn the color and become more white. So normally, the normal color of this frog, it's quite gray, in color. So it does help. It does help them to protect the skin, because they've got very sensitive skin with the sunlight. So that is why it's more white. Wow, but it's really nice to see it. With those big, big eyes. Wow, that's amazing. To be able to spot that, you have to have very good eyes, and more especially if you're driving along. Wow, we definitely so lucky to see that. So sometimes you'll see there's a snake that normally go up the trees quite often, which is known as a vine snake. So it does like to go up trees, more especially to look for this formless frog. Sorry, to look for this, yes, it's known as a formless frog or grey tree frog. You can see it's chosen a very grey tree to sit on it. So I think from here we're going to move on and try find ourselves a cheetah. I think while we're searching for cheetah, we're going to take you to Andrew again with the leopard.
Busan, good luck with your search for cheetah. And then here we're still staying put with our beautiful the leopard. As you can see, when we look through the grasses, all you see past this grass is all the spots of a leopard. He's still there. So we're trying to zoom through his face, but I think not much that we can see of him. On his shoulder, in that. If it happens, he spend a whole day here. And then definitely he will get so hungry, and the next time he does movement, which is going to be probably a late evening, then he's going to be hunting. Where though I've seen leopard, interested on killing the second prey, even though they have their own, the first prey on the very same spot. And they're very good in that. The reason they actually don't Ali, so you want to know how long leopard can live for. So in a wild, anything from 16, where females most can reach up to that. Male, if they do, then they're lucky, but they have a lot of fight between, a lot of these territorial situations happening between males, and they fight strictly hard. So typically anything from 10, 12 roughly. That's the average span for leopard in a wild. But they do get up to 15, 16 when they're lucky. Unless if, in his cage where they're taken care of, well, given a few food, which is a meat supply, and then also checking the blood sample for any disease taking place and things like that. And of course they can reach up to 18 years, possibly when you're lucky, see them go up to 20 in a cage. So we're just about to look around again. It's because it's another vehicle joining here. I'm going to stay put to see what happened.
So we still sitting with this formless frog next to us, and there's some zebras in the background there. That's how we are walking away slightly. And earlier on, they were drinking there. So we're going to sit here and listen to the sound of the nature a little bit. Wow, that was amazing. Did you see the zebra chasing the warthogs away? And those two zebras were busy playing along there. And the birds that we had, it was the rattling testicular, and was a red-billed shrike calling, and was wow, that was really amazing to see.
So we're still sitting here put, hope to find or get to see the leopard moving or changing other position, look different way, because I think he's been sleeping there one side way for a very long time. It happens, he might actually maybe switch or maybe look away from us. That's going to be bad because we can't go on the other side because it's the bushes. And he sees a leopard survive, you know, and just because they're actually medium-sized cat. And then, of course, for them to be able to survive, since they're actually so small and they feed on anything they could in terms of catch, food, they can spend time, you know, crunching through these shells of tortoise, land tortoise, and they would feed on sometimes these lizard, giant black-tailed lizard, sometimes possibly jump into a shell of water, come back with a catfish, and then of course they would feed on birds, tiny birds, and these francolins, these guinea fowls. You can't believe they can, actually very good, they can jump up when they're trying to attempting bird on flight. So it's so much for them, especially this time of year where land snails are out there, and of course birds, all ground nesting birds out there. You know, a chance for these birds to be pounced and get killed by many of these cats. But not only the leopards, that including also these sable, caracal. So they have a lot to actually able to get for their own survival. But it applies the same with the lions. And the worst part is that isolated males or female that should not actually bride. And then it happens that she will either suffer due to a lack of hunting. It's actually not supporting her well, that maybe every time, because they hunt corporate, they were able to corner the prey species. With the car you just heard now coming in, it's actually Juma vehicle responding to this Tingana. He may have had a talk on the background. So this is what this animal do for their living. A leopard, they are very solitary animal, where for them hunt, and that's why they have to make it possible, even they don't get a big game like antelopes and things, scrub hare, those type, you know, it'll, you know, suit their life for quite a while, a few days sometimes, just to get an energy, continue hunt until they succeed on a big prey species, where then they're going to spend a lot of time when they get impala down. Impala will feed such a male like this for at least 4 days. Remember, feeding also method is different to lions. What the lions do, many times they don't pluck off the fur on the skin of animal, where leopard does. And they have a lot of that chance, because I think it's because they are solitary animals, and then all they got the food of themselves. And you see them pluck off the skin or the fur on the skin. Not all of the fur, some of them have been swallowed. But they have carnassial teeth. So those teeth, it works, they're actually very sharp. And they can cut through rough skin. They can cut through soft bone, these ribs, and the flesh as well. And they still leopard feed sometimes when they start from the backside. Maureen, so you want to know which would I prefer between a leopard and a lion? You see, they're all actually carnivore animals and they're all cats. But if I have to choose, then a leopard, I would choose. So the reason is because of, the way I just explained, for them to starve, unless if they actually have a problem with walking, then it's going to be very difficult for that leopard to be able to support her or himself getting to feed, because you cannot get a support, and they don't stick in group. Where those is in group, of course they would help each other, but helping even in the lines, if a single lion or lioness has broke its leg, cannot able to keep up with the pride, they're more likely to leave her behind, carry on with the activity for the night. Whenever they kill out there, they don't bring anything back to the partner who is now struggling to walk. So, but they will return back, but with an empty package or anything like that. That it's all about maybe checking if she's okay or he's okay, still alive. Can he now or she can now join us? Can she move? That's all the checking. If she then cannot move, eventually they would know that maybe she won't make it. She won't make it because they will be able to check the condition. Then she won't make it. But they will move out sadly because now it's probably that they know for sure she won't keep up in the pride anymore. And then later when they return back again to check, or the results of maybe she either died, and that's where they will make sure, well, I think we forget now about her. Let's move on. So in lines, that happens. With the leopard, here what you see, since they're actually solitary animals, males, and not actually cooperate, feed or hunt. Everyone would hunt for their own. But they can scavenge as well from one another. Where a lot of time what we've seen, the stronger cat will steal from the weakest or the smallest. Even though they host their prey up in trees, but they only, keep it safe from hyenas and things. You understand, lion can climb a tree, but where they put their meat sometimes up high into this very thin branches where lion cannot get it, can only climb high, and halfway lion will probably not able to. Then from there it's so difficult for lion to climb down. You have to jump or fail from that height. There's now 2 vehicles here that joined us. And I'm sure we'll have another time to spend with them. Unless if there's a lot of other company coming to join. So I think let's take a moment of silence just to hear what's calling about around this cat. John, you want to know if I ever picked up the leopard skull? No, but a friend of mine did. And I'm not sure what he did with it, but this was actually a long time ago, maybe 12 years back there. And then I can't recall which leopard was it. That it happened, get caught by lions somewhere in Torchwood, east of here. And it happens, the whole pride of, it was actually not the pride, it was a coalition of male. And then it happens with so much tall grasses, and there was wind. That leopard was just lying flat on the ground. And the lion didn't know there's a leopard around, but so that female, she gets surprised. The minute she's trying to run away, and the lion male was on it. Killed it right on the spot. And just can't recall which one was it. But it was a female. So, and I'm not sure the skull, what happened. Maybe the owner finally took it there. Or it's probably chowed by hyena, because this is actually what happens. Everything goes back to the nature. Hyena, they're one of the cleaner, they won't leave anything that they can manage to crunch through those bones. So now what you see here is now I see the sun is going to now penetrate through that way, that spot where he is right now. So there's a chance maybe we'll see him shift a bit, follow the shade, but if he does this time, I'm afraid he might actually go into this thick covered there. So let's see what is going to happen in the next maybe 30 minutes or so. I would like to see more of him right in the open. Since yesterday he was also, but yesterday, he was not bad. He would look at us quite a few times. Maybe it's just because he had a full belly that time. They still leopard hunt by daylight. It's when weathers allow them to do that. And cloudy, with this type of morning, it's not actually bad, where the grass is high, and they will use advantage of these grasses to actually crawl through closer to prey species. Where now they need to be careful if the impalas more expensive. They sometimes mainly stick in group also in the open area. Where this time, because it's already signed up, and then it happens, impala, they were probably in a little bit of a brush, bushes. Since once they're not actually alert to anything that can happen in that time. And that's where they get surprised. But in the open, it's got to be a windy day. And then finally you see them run around, because it's also good to get confused in impalas when it's too wind. And they'll finally run around, pronking, jump up, down. Eventually, sometimes one will run into that position of the cat and then get killed right on the spot. So that's why when it's wind, pouring rain, same thing. Cats, they more on the hunt because they don't have to use a lot of energy of stalking, trying to, make sure they don't disturb a lot of bushes. Because when it's deadly quiet, animals, they have a sense of good hearing as well. or a smell. So any bushes that has been touched by anything, they were definitely going to concentrate on that. So we're going to stay put here. I'm going to be sending you over to a ROAN.
Who is your leopard, Andrew? I'm so intrigued. We have a skink. It's not often we get skinks on camera. I must say they're very common out here, but they're normally very mobile and darting into crevices and dark, cool places. Now, this is a striped skink.
Andrew.
Oh, my goodness. I think, you're welcome to tell me I'm wrong, but I think it is one of the more common ones out here. And skinks in general are sort of a family of lizards. They belong to the lizard classification. And I'm not sure how easy it is to see, but they've got very shiny, smooth scales. Whereas if you compare to the rough-scaled lizard that we see, the scales are very prominent. But here they're very, very shiny and smooth, and they've got very, very strong legs. They can climb, they can move incredibly fast. They're equipped for escaping predators because they're the perfect size for a delicious snack for many of the predators out here. Now, as do all reptiles, I know I say this, they just jump from shade to sun, to thermoregulate. Too hot, jump in the shade. Too cold, jump in the sun. It's a very simple life. And they have an internal mechanism that will instinctively know when that temperature is dropping in order to create a response to move into the sun, and vice versa. Because they are so mobile, you see them everywhere. Dart, 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 zoom, 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 zoom. They use a lot of energy to do that. They expend a lot of energy in being so highly mobile, which means that they normally need to warm up a lot more than other reptiles. Oh, Marcel, there's one here. You see on the other fallen over tree? I think it's another skink.
Yep.
Down. Oh, there's another one. If you go down as well, there's actually another one. I can see 3 then. The one further looks like it's lost its tail. Yeah, you see that? It has lost its tail, hasn't it? Or at least the tip of it. Sassy Cassie? I'm not sure if that was the correct name, but you're asking the difference between geckos and skinks. They're different species, or different groups of animals that have different features that belong to the reptilian order. Now, geckos are very unique in that they have specially adapted feet. Let's just take the house gecko as an example. The skinks definitely don't have this. They sort of have scancers on their toes. And these are tiny little pads that help them not only to climb walls and get in all the awkward places, but they also contain hairs. And they can detect sort of... the hairs allow them to gain traction on the surface that they are on, which allows them to be excellent climbers. You'll see geckos hanging upside down, defying gravity, and it's because they've got these special pads that are called scancers on their toes. And it's basically for traction, whereas skinks, they'll have mini claws, very small little claws, and they've also got really spiny scales on the soles of their feet. And again, this helps with the surface, the substrate that they are on. Rough bark or rocks. But they're just different groupings in the reptilian world. Skinks generally get much larger than geckos do. But I wonder, this one, I know it's disappeared, but the one without a tail, I wonder if it lost it on purpose. They can actually cut off their tail on purpose, and it's called caudal autonomy. I wonder if that's what happened. Okay, we're going to move on from our reptiles, and we're going to send you back across to Andrew.
All right, everyone, eventually our leopard is up. It's got a lot of ticks. His neck, his ears as well. He's actually up now, he's looking, there was actually a warthog in the far distance, which is where he's actually looking right now. So we're gonna stay here just to see what happened. It's always so important when you see any hunting situation take place like this. And all you do is just stay far as much as you can, just to give the animal time or chance to do their own hunt. It's amazing how he just picked up that where there was a footstep, because it was just lying flat. And it happens that the vibration he picks up, and before anything that move around, he would be able to pick it up. So now, hunt by, hearing or sight or smell. That's what it's key for cats most. Here what we see, the wind is not actually allowing him to do so, because now the wind is pushing to the sound where I think he's looking kind of westwards. It happens the wind will blow to the warthogs. And let's see if we can see the warthog through the bush. But the warthog, it's actually now, I would say right in front of my car. And let's just take time here, because if we ever move, then we're going to disturb both animal. So he's going to go down flat. And then what I saw, just a little bit of a glimpse of that warthog, doesn't look like a bigger warthog. So he's going to go. This is a serious hunter right now. So he's actually focusing on a target very much. And when they're on a hunt, it happens sometimes they step on ant, these martable ants which they bite, and they wouldn't mind so much of getting bitten by one of those until they out of that side. Because every time they move too much, then you find the prey species is so close to that animal. So now the warthog, I think it's disappeared in front of my car, where is actually another brush, and there's another bush on the other side in front as well. So we're not sure if that warthog was still making its way across. Which, if it does, will pop out right in front of him, or slightly, maybe 20, 25 meters away from where he is right now. Or then it happens, maybe they pick up his smell, decided to, okay. I hear growl a little bit of this warthog. Now they're trying to move away from him.
You can see it in the eyes, but
yeah, it's difficult to put in the frame. So warthog is running across from the other side. Let's hope it's come out there, but it's now actually, I think, noticed there's a leopard around here. But all I hear was this little sound they make, warthog. Kind of snort pretty much. And then as they avoiding the area. Jade, yeah, so you're asking wind it works for, so that you would use, wind is also count so much because they need to downwind if it's possible. And then animal, what happened, they know exactly what danger smells, like most lions and hyenas or those carnivore species. If there is any around them, chance they can smell, then they're able to tell this is even which cat is it sometimes, and they get out of the area. So wind, it counts, and that's why when it's too wind, and it's actually like in a situation here, you would just gonna make or check, you can tell actually where the wind blowing into, and if now wind blowing to the south from the north, and it's actually far too open for that, for him to actually manage to maneuver around or go around and, trying to avoid and downwind it. So maybe he didn't have much of a choice. So when there's a chance they do that, they would downwind the prey. That's the key also. Because there's a chance they can get close to the prey species without them knowing that there is an attack close by, because they cannot smell. He's still checking out. You've probably been in kind of situation there where you see a few animals run across and then you expect to see more of them coming in. It happens they might come maybe at least towards him or further from him. The warthog, they're also one of the animals that move in group. So if it's more of them, more likely to maybe make their way either near him, or we're just gonna see if then he's gonna check nothing will follow it. It was the only one. He's gonna try and refollow a little bit. Stretch. He's still scanning around in front of him. And that warthog, they probably gonna run around and move away from here. But warthog, they're one of the animals, so they have their windpipe in terms of suffocation, where the cats or leopards killed by suffocate, and the windpipe is actually allocated very in the thick muscles where it's not sometimes easy for penetration through the suffocations. So I'm gonna stay put here again, and I'm gonna be sending you to Lauren.
I have one of the greatest, an exceptionally important organism ecologically. One that works so hard all day for many different reasons. There's said to be around 780 different species of dung beetles in South Africa. And this one is clearly starting a ball. It's time to get busy. This dung is fresh, it's wet, it's moist, Smells wonderful, and it's the scent that travels in the air and attracts the dung beetles. Now, you get your endocropids, and they are the dung beetles that actually are known as dwellers. Endo means in, endocoprids, dwelling in. And they're the ones that live inside the dung. So the dung becomes home, which is why you should never drive over dung, although it's rather challenging. And they also breed in situ, inside the dung. Sorry. And then you get the paracropids. And they are known as the tunnelers, the ones that tunnel, bury dung directly under their dung, and this is for their larvae. Have we lost them, Marcello? Oh, no. So they are the ones that sort of help the nutrient cycle, and they actually bury their dung underneath the dung. So what you can't see happening. Underneath this big pile, they'll start to bury it, actually puts it into the soil, but they're using it as food supply for their larvae. Then you get the telecoprids, and that's what we're looking at right now. They are commonly known as the rollers. I'm a rolling. And they roll the dung balls and take them away from this pile. So they take them away from the original site of the landing site, should we say. And this is either to eat them or bury them elsewhere, which is sometimes what they do, using their hind legs. Look at this, remarkable amount of power. And then you get the kleptocoprids, and you can all guess what that one is. Kleptoparasitism, to steal. They will steal balls from others in order to lay their own eggs. Endo, para, tele, klepto. 4 different types of dung beetles. Look at them go! And they all do it for different reasons. I love small little sightings like this. They're so meaningful. So we're going to enjoy watching this guy work so hard. And we're going to send you across to Mike with the giraffe.
Well, we've got also a small little creature. Rather, it's the smallest of the very tallest. It's a young giraffe, part of a group that's coming down to drink here at Leopard Dam. So good morning, everyone. It's a bit of a late start for us this morning. I'm Mike Anderson, behind the camera Seb, and you've joined us here at Eco Training's Pride Lands Conservancy, where we've been on some wild goose chases already this morning. We're not looking for geese. We've been looking for lions, leopards and buffaloes, and they've been giving us the real runaround. Every time we get a glimpse of one, it seems to move off to the other side of the bushes, and then we have to go around. Anyway, we decided to come and take it easy and come sit by the dam and see what comes down, and we've been rewarded with this lovely journey of giraffes that's just arrived, and is consisting of at least 2 females and a calf and 2 large males, and I think I see another one approaching from the distance which also looks very tall, could also be another male. So perhaps there's a little bit of a competition here between these large males for dominance of one of these females. Looks like 2 females. One of them's got a calf already, but it might be about time for it to start thinking about mating again. Maybe a bit early. Speaking of mating, we were so fortunate yesterday. It was such an unfortunate thing that we had to cut away, but Seb and I got to witness an elephant mating yesterday, which was the very first time for me to see something like that. I was absolutely in awe of how the whole herd became very vocal and excited. It was really interesting to watch. Much like when we watched Seb this giraffe's mating. That was also very interesting. A lot less of a group activity, more of a one male pestering a female. Might even have been this male right here that's feeding. And there's one female trying to drink as well, using that very awkward giraffe, wide-legged, forward-leaning position, which is not comfortable for them. I'm sure it's not comfortable at all. It's also fairly dangerous, especially if there's predators around. Hopefully there are some here and there, which we'll get to see at some point soon. Using its long tongue to just wipe up any watery spills. Well, we're going to stay at the dam. There's a buffalo herd hopefully approaching, so we'll stick around here and see if they arrive.
Welcome to my car. This is Wendy, and she's my favorite. She would love to have your name engraved on her so you can be with her every single time she goes on a safari here in Djuma. If you become a Wild Earth Explorer, you will have the opportunity to buy an engraved tag which we will attach to her. We will make sure to send you a digital picture to show you exactly where you are sitting on her. You will have front row seat in every single sighting.
Guys, just watch what's happening. See, watch the elephants, watch the lions. See, the first ones to run are the cubs. Can you see them? They are right here. I'm not sure how scared you were, but I was quite nervous. But absolutely incredible.
Expect the unexpected here on Wild Earth daily. Have you been watching Wild Earth and dreamt of being right there on safari with one of the guides? Well, now you can. Wild Earth is offering you a chance to buy a ticket to dream. You or a friend can hop on board a live Wild Earth show and join our guide on safari. The ticket is redeemable at any of our locations, anytime in the future. Only a limited number of tickets are available, so don't wait. Get your ticket now and start dreaming. Terms and conditions apply.
My name is Ross and I'm a field guide at and Beyond Pinde Private Game Reserve. I love getting questions from guests on Wild Earth because I love sharing and learning information about nature with new people, and it also makes me feel like you're all joining me in real life. If you want to ask a question on Wild Earth, then you need to register on our website. Once registered, go to our live safari page and submit your question below our live feed.
Thanks. So we now, as you can see, this is actually another position where this Tingana is right now. So I think he lost trust or interest on following on that warthog. Probably actually ran far now. I think that warthog probably saw him because he was up, his head was up all the time. The only time he actually lowered down. I think this is where, before the warthogs come to the, closer point of him. Yawn. You might actually get to move again. This is why sometimes during the day it happens they kill by chances where prey species may walk to their position where they just lay down. And that sometimes it happened quite a lot with the lions, because lions in prides. And then it happens they will be started to move or hunt where then they were thought to be lying down because it's hot, but by surprises it happened. Maybe the whole bunch of kudu, came pass by or ran into that direction, maybe chased by something else. So now you would be, hunting also communication, it involves birds around here. The birds can sometimes, they concentrate on birds' sound. If now, because birds also, they have distress sound when they see danger. And then if there's those birds making this sound out there, or impala snorting from the way distance, show this kind of, maybe they're threatened. You would be so concerned about that, knowing that could be another enemy out there who are hunting them, who could be, then he will be very much interested on investigating, but carefully when he does that, because it happens maybe it's another male leopard, or it's a female leopard, or it's a lion. He just be licking himself. Kind of floor. You want to know how many hours this leopard can sleep for? So, he can sleep for anything 16, maybe 17 hours, possibly 18 hours, depend on what kind of condition he's at. If it's maybe his full stomach, he doesn't actually get disturbed by anything, and then he can just lie down for a long time. But due to that, it's a lot of disturbance. Not only the prey species will disturb him. Could be maybe a herd of elephants running into that direction. There's no way they can miss him. And then he needs to run away from them. So also you need to stay away from the other big cats as well, which is a lion. Lion and a leopard won't get along. I think it's because all of them, they're carnivore and they can steal from one another. Where lions can steal from leopards a lot of time, where leopards scared of get any near where the lion is. So I'm going to stay put here. It looks like just myself at the moment, which is great. So I'm going to be sending you over a Lauren with her elephants.
How unfortunate. We've just had the most magnificent views of this bull. I think he's going to pop back out again. And he's got a hat on. Look. He's wearing a hat. He's wearing a grass hat. And that's going to be our last visuals of him, I'm afraid. Huge lone bull with a grass hat. That's exactly what I would do if I was out here. I would wear hats. And we might be able to maneuver around. He's got quite a unique odor to him. I wonder if he's starting to come into must. It's not, oh, we're going to get another view. It's not full must, but I can smell it. Oh, we're in a mud wallow. How's that, Marcello? You've got to keep your grass hat on, boy. It's just fabulous. Oh. Look at that, perfect. I thought we were going to lose him when he comes straight to the wallow. Now, elephants at this point in summer are really just spending their days grazing, but in the direction of water. Grazing water, grazing water. It's really important that they stay cool. Mary Ann, you're so right. Very fashionable. Top of the line. With his grass hat. He was just walking through the thicket with a hat of grass. It's brilliant, but yes, uber fashionable. Now, this water is not drinkable, if you like. It's just a mud wallow, and elephants are incredibly fussy with their water. They like fresh, clean water. So he won't drink this. He's literally just using it to cool down his body. Elephants really can risk dehydration, believe it or not. Even although they're so large, they need copious amounts of water. Not only from the sun, but from their cooling mechanisms. Their digestive process uses a lot of water. They would most likely never dehydrate, but they just need to keep their water levels really, really topped up. Doesn't that look great? It almost looks like he's covered in glitter. He's glimmering in the sun. This guy is fabulous. Marcel predicted earlier that today's going to be a scorcher. I think he's right. The heat already. And it is 8:15 in the morning.
I see your buffaloes, but your signal is low. Please, can you reposition? Welcome back, everyone. Sorry about those technical issues. As you can see here, we are at a different dam now, at Ndlovu Dam, and we found another herd of buffalo with a tiny little calf. I don't know if you can see that calf trying to climb up the wall of the dam there, but that thing is absolutely minuscule. I'm sure it was born last night. In fact, I think I can still see... What is that? Oh, it was just born. Look, the mother's still got the sac hanging out. The amniotic fluid is still... That's amazing. I've never seen this before. Holy moly, let me get my binoculars out even. That is really cool. So we saw elephants mating yesterday, and now there's a buffalo calf that's literally just been born. The placental sac and all the amniotic fluid is still hanging out of the mother. That is... amazing. Look at it. It's still got these tiny little ears that are still almost stuck to the side of its head. It's still wet. It's still being cleaned by the mother even. Well, this is a first for me, everyone. How incredible. So it's very important that the mother cleans this calf, because it will smell, obviously, of all the birthing fluids and a fair bit of blood. And so it will attract the attentions of any predators like hyenas, lions and leopards. So the mother needs to clean it as quickly as possible. And that birthing sac will eventually fall out of the mother, and it might even find that that gets consumed as well to reduce the evidence. Wow, that is really, really special. The rest of the buffaloes are in the waterhole right now, having a bit of a bathe and cooling down. The mother won't want the large, boisterous buffaloes to come too close to her calf. She'll be quite protective, in fact. So this is the third buffalo calf we've seen that's been born over the last few days. This one is by far the freshest. Look, it's not even steady on its legs. It looks like it wants to fall over. See how the mother's constantly surrounding it, moving back and forth and cleaning every single side of it. There's another young male buffalo approaching. Let's see how the mother... Oh, she placed herself so that the baby could find her udders. Might be having one of its first drinks in life. Wow. And it's so important. That first drink of milk has all the good bacterias and all the things that the baby will need to make sure it stays strong and healthy in these first few days. Bubbles, I agree. This is absolutely phenomenal. first time in my life to see a buffalo calf that's just been born and having its first drink of milk ever in its life. Oh, now that it found the udder, it's not letting go easily. It's amazing how the instinct is there, because, of course, that calf has just been born, and it has no idea how to drink milk. I mean, it shouldn't have any idea how to drink milk, but as soon as it's presented with that udder, it already knows that, oh, I should drink this. Instinct is amazing. Oh. Look at that, straight again for the udder. Uh-oh, Mum's going to walk down towards the water, which is going to be a bit tricky for its little calf. Look at it. Looks like it's getting a bit of confidence now that it's tasted milk for the first time. Now it knows what it wants. Oh, cute. Look at it. Those little tippy taps. That's so mean. Now the mother's going to walk through mud. She's really giving this calf the full experience. Here comes a male coming over to sniff and investigate. That's interesting. I'm not sure, because I've never seen this before. I've no idea how long it takes for the mother to become comfortable with other buffaloes being around her calf. I suppose as long as they are calm and don't act too aggressively, she'll be fine. That might even be the father of that calf. We can't see it right now. It's behind all the rest of the buffaloes, but there's another tiny little calf on the far left there, Seb. I don't know if you see that. The far leftist buffaloes, there's another tiny calf over there. Also looks like it was probably born last night. A similar age to the one we were just looking at. This mother doesn't have the leftovers of the afterbirth hanging behind her, but it's also got a very pink umbilical cord, still got those floppy legs. I think it's almost the same age. I wonder if there's some sort of... Oh no, just got pushed by another buffalo. Look at that. This other buffalo is like, oh no, what is happening? What's happening? That other female just threw that baby up into the air. And the mother seems to be doing nothing about it. Natasha, it is really interesting, but I tell you what, this mother doesn't seem to be handling her responsibilities very well at all. It just let its baby get thrown up into the air like a rag doll. I wonder if it's a new mother. Well, like its first calf maybe. It doesn't really understand what it's meant to be doing. The calf is just lying down. I hope it's not too badly injured. Wow, that was... Oh no. The mother's being chased away by this other buffalo. So you can tell that's the mother. I can see a little bit of the afterbirths just hanging at the back underneath the tail, but the calf is just lying down now in the water. I really hope it's not too badly injured. It's a very strange interaction. So now I know that buffaloes definitely have a sort of hierarchical structure. So that might be a low-ranking female. If she's allowing her baby to be thrown around like that. Oh, okay, the baby's getting up. Okay. It's still there right behind all that buffalo's on the end there. So the one that's standing up on the far left, Seb, is the mother, and behind that one is the baby. So I'm hoping if those buffaloes move, you'll see the baby. The baby just got up. It's good. I see it's heading towards the mother now. I just saw its head behind the back of that one buffalo. Hopefully it finds the udder and has a bit of a drink, but I'd like to see it move forward. I just want to see if it didn't get injured by that horn. Do you see it there, Seb? So look on the far left there. See those buffaloes on the far left? Look amongst all those buffaloes. There's the tiny baby.
Oh yeah, no, of course, yeah, okay.
Now it seems fine. I don't see any wound or anything like that. So although it got thrown up into the air, they are really tough, even at a young age. I'm sure you've all seen that video called The Battle of Kruger, where the young buffalo gets caught by lions and then pulled by crocodiles, and then eventually rescued by the rest of the herd, and it still manages to walk off. So hopefully this little calf is just getting toughened up by Auntie. It certainly doesn't seem as confident as the other one. Doesn't seem to know exactly where the milk is just yet. It'll get there. It's probably still just recovering from that dunking that it just got. It's in the right place. Probably because it was splashed into water, it can't smell very clearly anymore. And I think that's the main way that they find the udders, is by being able to smell them. But I'm sure it will get there eventually. What an amazing, interesting sighting. Well, I think we're going to stick around over here just to see what else develops.
Thanks, Mike. Our leopard now went very flat, as you can see, where the grass is wagging every now and then is right there. And then if you ever look away and all of a sudden you don't see him or nothing, you would think maybe he's gone. But, we were too sure that we were keeping an eye on it. So he's still there flat. And until he actually shows up again his head. This is when maybe you want to check around for safety, or maybe if he is not too sure what noise is taking place around, what is about. Or when he change place to another, because, the sun is still moving through, pretty much. It's probably going to hit that position where he is right now. So it's probably going to shift into the middle of this bush. Where sometimes tracking leopard, when it's on a hot day, you got to look pretty much in this shade where they must be maybe roosting for the day. Unless if it's cloudy, then you expect to see them out, because then they feel comfortable. The weather is good for them. I'm gonna stay put here. Maybe you get to move around for us.
You're about to see a very young calf, handful of weeks, if not a few months, very young. It's about to walk in front of the car. We've been watching this herd. It's been so beautiful. That lone bull we had, it was magnificent. We were with him for a long time before the power went out. We've got load shedding here, and he actually came across this herd just by coincidence, and he went up to them. The females reacted because they've got two very young offspring, or three, I think. Marcel, you saw three, right? And he had a sniff around. He didn't see he didn't find what he wanted, which was a receptive female, and he just left. The bull's gone off, and this is just two females and their youngsters. And they were all huddled in the shade, and they've definitely got two that I could see very, very young calves. But unfortunately, they've all wandered into the thicket now, so I'll try and see if we can get a better view, Marcel. In here? I love it when elephants find the smallest patch of shade and all huddle together. But to be fair, there's really not much shade anywhere. When the calves are this young, the mothers really, really don't let it separate by about a meter. Any further than a meter is too much. They either walk underneath the mother if they can, or right next to the mother's side, and she'll walk very gently, very slowly, very cautiously. They won't let their youngsters be left behind. It's too risky. A youngster gets left behind the herd could easily get attacked by lions. That would be the opportunity lions would wait for. Tim, there's not a paternal structure here. Elephants are promiscuous and no monogamy. There's no males that are traveling with this herd. Older males. They'll be youngsters. Normally they get ousted anywhere between 12 to 15. By 18, definitely, they will have left the herd to live a nomadic life or a sort of bachelor herd life, whichever they prefer or whichever they come across. And there's no males in this herd that are above 15. No bulls. That bull joined them, but he's not part of the herd. He had a sniff of all the ladies, didn't find what he was looking for and left. So no, the calves absolutely do not know who their father is. I think we've lost all the elephants now. Oh, we've managed to get 2% of one. Well done, Marcel. Okay, I think we'll leave these elephants. We really can't see them anymore. They've gone straight into the thicket to continue grazing, I would imagine. Okay, so we're going to keep bumbling on. And now we're going to send you over to Busani and his lions.
Oh, we have finally found these two male lions. But have a look. The all legs are sitting on a shade. It's a nice hot day today. And the one in the front, it looks like he's painting a lot. So you see the size of his stomach. He's got much bigger stomach. So as we come, but with the two of them, one will be a lot more dominant than the other one. So the dominant one, he will get to, while they're patrolling their territory, if they manage to call the dominant one, he's gonna feed first, and he's not gonna allow the less dominant male to eat with him. So there will be a lot of fighting, although they are brothers, but they will fight. But have a look at the man on this one, and he's got like a golden face around. Wow. These two male lions are my favorite lions. Although it did take a while to get here because it's a long way off. And I thought that if the male lions have been found, mostly in the daytime, by the sounds of it earlier on, they were moving around. So we are going to spend some time with them and see what they do. And as you can see that they don't put their head down, which means they might move again. And perhaps if the sun does get really, really hot, then they will walk into the shady spot. So normally the lions, male lions will patrol their territory along the roads because it's much easier for them to walk, and they know that if there's a new male lion that's coming within their territory, he's gonna walk along the road as well and send mark along the road. So then they will, the new male will then pick up the scent of this male, then and start the fight if these two males are. Bernie, yes, these are very handsome. Have a look how he's walking. Look at the size of him. Look at the size of that man. He's gonna perhaps send mark rapid. Size of him. So do you see the size of his stomach compared to the one in the front? He's got a lot skinnier stomach than the one in the front. So he has gone into the bush there. I think it's because of the heat, and he's gonna perhaps spend a day inside there. Look at his brother; he's busy watching him. So perhaps he's also gonna go and follow him shortly. Look at that! Wow. These are very good looking male lions. So have a look just below his eye. Do you see he's got like a white fur? White fur onto their eyes at night so that they can see a little bit better than the prey species. So I think Mike has got the buffalo that are around the waterhole. Probably it's a hot day as well, so they're busy wallowing and drinking water.
Oh, so we've got something interesting. We've got Tungsten, our favorite buffalo without a tail and with his tongue hanging out. Just came to sniff and investigate the calf, but it seems like the whole buffalo herd is now going to move off. I'm not sure what's caught their attention. Oh, Stampede, watch out for the baby. So the mother's standing still close to the baby, making sure the other buffaloes don't knock it over. I think there's another vehicle just arriving in the sighting that gave them a bit of a fright. I don't think they're going to go far. See, it's quite a spectacular event when there's a tiny calf like this that's just been born. Everyone wants to have a look. It was interesting to see that Tungsten, the buffalo that we know quite well, with his tongue that hangs out, he's got a bit of a damage to his bottom jaw, led the charge, sort of leading the herd away from the water. I'm glad to see that he's still got enough dominance to make the decisions for the group. So he's always hanging around with another group of large bulls. You just always assume that they might be their prime and that they're no longer associating with the herd, but this was good to see. Interesting, the buffalo with the afterbirth is the one with the blonde tail. You remember we saw this one, I think it was the day before yesterday, Seb, and we were pointing it out to everyone, saying how beautiful and blonde its tail is. That is the buffalo that has given birth. So perhaps its calf will also be beautiful and golden as it gets a bit older. The other young calf still struggling along, making its way slowly through the mud towards where the rest of the buffaloes are. It's really, really amazing. And now that we recognize this particular blonde-tailed buffalo, we'll be able to follow it over the course of the next few months and see how the baby develops, how that buffalo develops as a mother. It's not easy to distinguish different individuals, so having that distinctive feature is actually really helpful for us. Wow, that baby is persistent. It's really just constantly trying to get to the udders. That's a good sign. That's going to be a strong and healthy young buffalo. I think if a buffalo calf is struggling to find the udders and doesn't know where they are and doesn't show interest in them, it's probably not going to survive very long. It needs to have that very strong sense of, how can I call it, like an urge to get to that milk. And they'll grow quickly and gain muscle very fast as long as they get as much nutrients as possible. See, just in front of that calf now is another big round-bellied buffalo. I think there's another female that's going to give birth soon. Ian, I've never seen a buffalo birth before. This is about as close as I've ever come before. Seeing the afterbirth still hanging out there means that this birth happened, I'm sure, less than an hour ago. It won't take long for that afterbirth to get hooked on something and fall out, or be pulled out, and then it'll be the end. And this buffalo is still wobbly on its feet, so definitely, I'd say, the last hour born. That's amazing. Maybe even sooner than that. Maybe even the last half an hour. Cannot see the other buffalo and calf anymore. They're still amongst the mud. And that one is, I think, almost as young, maybe it's a little bit older, but interestingly, its umbilical cord is very long and pink. So, still looks very fresh. Can you see that one there, Seb? If you look by the water, there's like that one clump in the water in the mud. There's a calf is behind all of them. You'll just see it now as the buffaloes move out the way. Just see its legs. I still haven't seen it drink any milk yet, though. In all the time we've been watching it, I haven't seen it king milk, so that's not a good sign. And the fact that the mother was protecting it or chasing the other buffaloes away even after it got thrown into the air with a horn from the other female. I don't know if she's maybe just an inexperienced mother, doesn't know how to properly entice its youngster to get to the milk and how to protect it. You see the umbilical cord there, Seb? When it turns its body, you'll see it a bit better. So there's a different buffalo there swing at that calf. Very interesting. Right, so whilst we watch these buffaloes slowly head over the ridge and into the distance, we'll send you over to Andrew, whose leopard is now woken up.
Thanks, Mike. Good luck with these buffalo calves. And then now we got our Tingani here, the leopard. Looks like he's up and busy cleaning himself. Which is actually, this is a good chance we may see his head again. As you can see, there's another vehicle that just joined. So we're just gonna see how we're gonna manage to zoom in and out through him. I'm not sure if he decided now to move somewhere else, because he's looking away and he's sitting up, not lying down anymore. So maybe he's gonna move further south, or I think so, because he came from the north. And when he does that, so the tongue itself, it's rough. We're able to get hold of the teaks off. It can pluck the thorns on their foot as well, because sometimes they do step on thorns and all of that. And by licking, and also they use teeth to do that under their foot pads, and we're able to pluck the thorn out if it's possible. remember, they're one of the animal, they actually, that's why they separate far from them. Or you want to compare them to cheetah, where cheetah, you find them in open, where they hunt in open because they rely on the speed. Where leopards, they can run, but they don't rely on the speed for long. They always love it so much to be in a covered area and that's where they hunt, that's where they're meant to be. And it's so much of a drainage line system here. Where we always, when you see them, we lost them and they just went into this drainage line system, and it's just so wet for us to carry on with them. I'm so happy actually Tingana able to stay enough longer with us, to go into a very thick area. He's gonna be up and mobile. So it looks like he's going to take it easy again. See, he just went under the thick or under that tree for shade. So I'm going to be sending you over to BUSANI, where he has a line.
Wow, it was really nice to see Andrew with that leopard. It looked like the leopard went to find more shade. And these lions, they still are moving around. I was hoping that they might find more shade earlier on, and after the round, I think where they're going, it's perhaps they can smell the water hole. It's not too far from where they are. I think by this evening, they will be around the water hole and perhaps drinking water into that pen system where they're going. And it is why they still got their head up, because we didn't really expect to see lions in this heat of the day moving around. So have a look at the one at the back. He's got his eyes closed now, but they never put the head down, and he's painting very heavily. Look just behind, like on his back legs, he's got some few ticks. So from there I'm walking around here. You see the ticks there? Yeah, from there I'm walking around through this long grass. The amount of ticks that we do have here, it's really shocking. So that is why mostly they do prefer to walk along the road. So while they're resting or sleeping for the day, and they do get those ticks. So there's not much shade here exactly where they are. So I think they're gonna start moving shortly, because it seems like it's gonna be a hot day today. You see the one in the front? The flies are buggering him. So they don't really like the flies. Look at him twitching the body as well, and the ears constantly. So if the flies, there's some kind of flies that do bite the animals sometimes. So if those flies do bite them a lot, then they'll end up moving quickly and find a nice shady spot again. So earlier on, they were lying down in a nice shady spot. I thought that it's going to be them for a day, but the flies bite them. That is why they moved off. I think we're going to sit tight here and see what they're going to do.
Join our Explorers program so we can keep on sharing nature with the world. For a monthly subscription, you will have the opportunity to win fantastic Wild Earth expeditions, have access to an animal identification app, receive weekly highlights from our shows, and much more. All the money will go to keeping these live safaris on air, which in turn connects a global population with nature.
My name is TAYLA MCCURDY and I work for Eco Training. I love hearing from all of the viewers. However, I particularly enjoy those of you who have been watching for a few years. Your questions are just so advanced and they really get me thinking. If you'd like to ask a question on Wild Earth, you need to register on our website. Once you've done that, head to the live safari page and submit your questions below the live feed.
Wild Earth is launching our brand new Explorer program with an opportunity to win a very special Wild Earth expedition. The lucky winner will get a behind-the-scenes Wild Earth experience at the magnificent and beyond Ngala Tainted Safari Camp. The prize includes a 3-night stay for you and a friend with a chance to sleep out in the unique Ngala treehouse. Become a Wild Earth Explorer and stand a chance to win this and many other prizes. Terms and conditions apply.
What makes Anby Untitled Private Game Reserve so special is our massive array of habitats. And with that comes, of course, a beautiful diversity of landscapes, but also an incredible biodiversity in terms of plants, bird life and animal life, as well as, of course, our conservation success stories with cheetah, with rhinos, now with pangolins too.
Catch up with the guides daily here on Wild Earth.
Have a look how big his paws are. He's got very big paws. Can you see? You can't really see the claws sticking out. So lions, they do retract their claws. So you only see the claw marks or the claws on the tracks if it's chasing something. So they do like to keep those claws nice and sharp, so that if they come across with something, then they use those claws to grip whatever they caught. I was so lucky enough, like 2 months, I think a month ago, I was following this mallow, and it was a hot day like it is today. And they came across with warthogs, and the warthogs smelled them in the area, and they quickly went into the burrow. So they went straight close to the burrow, and the warthog started to panic and run away. And it was this one at the back, the one with the big stomach, because he's a lot dominant. Because the other one, we saw him with a very skinny stomach. And this one at the back, he fought with the other one and took all the carcass, and he fed himself on that carcass. It was really sad to see that even if they're brothers, they don't really share, which is horrible. But when it comes to patrolling the territory, they do be together. Dora, sorry, come again with the question. I missed the question. It's a little bit windy where I am right now. They don't really, Dora. They don't really. Wow. It seems like it does look promising because they've got their head up. And this one at the back, he's looking around. Wow. That's amazing. It seems like the one at the back is uncomfortable with the size of his stomach. And you can see that he's panting heavily than the one in the front. And he's got his mouth open. So even if it's a hot day like today, if an opportunity presents itself, then definitely they will go for it. I have seen before. Oh, Natasha, they've got like very pretty hair. Wow, and that long mane. But my favorite one is the one in the front. Have a look, he's got like much darker mane and long mane. Look at this one at the back, twitching the tail. Flies. Look at him. So he's gonna end up standing up and changing position. Look at that. Wow, look at those eyes. They look so scary. I think while we're sitting with these lions on the shade, and Andrew he's got that leopard again on a shady spot, so we're gonna take you straight across to Andrew with the leopard on the shade.
Thanks, Busani. It's true. I'm with this leopard on his shade over here, and as you can see now, when he's lying down, you can able to see his tummy that is not actually bad from last night. He just actually digest much as he could. We talked about him yesterday when we saw him, you know, how digesting process takes place and how fast it is until his stomach is empty again. In this case, depend what kind of animal you're going to get. Otherwise, he may maybe get a little hungry. But anyway, he's trying, even though he's not actually hungry very much yet. Since we saw him trying to attempt the warthog, that managed to go away. But it'll come in a time where sometimes leopards, they get very hungry that sometimes you see them, you know, they eat grasses when they're hungry enough. And of course, the reason they do that, they eat grasses, it's because of finally they got to throw out. So what happened, this acid on his tummy, it hurt them so much that they need to get rid of it. But only one way to vomit that is when they eat grasses and they throw out, just to get all of this acid out of their tummy, and they're free again until they find another meal. And I trust that maybe you would be around again this afternoon. Even though you would be disturbed, this is probably about when the shadow takes places and then he has to move, follow the shadow. If it's not shadow final, which I doubt not, it's a plenty of wood and thicket out here. He would probably find himself comfortable, shaded to roost for the entire day. So everyone, I just want to take this time to thank all of you being part of the beautiful show this morning. Since we began the show, it was so wonderful of you joining us, and we're hoping to see you again this afternoon, which definitely, yes, we'll see you this afternoon, same times, and from us, goodbye.